one was a steam engine.
Oh.
That was the first time I saw one.
And a lot of them will get in the car and chase it, going down the track, you know, head on down to the next crossing and get down there so they can film it again.
A heritage unit is a locomotive painted after another railroad company that no longer exists.
Welcome to my channel, guys. Well, I am in Folkston, Georgia. My wife and I got in kind of late yesterday evening, and we got down here to the Folkston Railway Funnel, probably about 7:30 last night. Wasn't here too long before I was able to bag a northbound Amtrak auto train, so to speak. And then I decided I was going to go ahead and wait on into dark to see if I could capture some footage of a train coming by at night. And lo and behold, while I'm waiting, a lady shows up, parks here at the viewing platform. She's eating her dessert, and she was kind enough to put it aside to talk to me. I'm here with Amy. I'm not quite set up for an interview, but she knows a lot about trains. You were telling me earlier that there's a special train that comes by.
Every now and then it comes by. It looks almost identical to Amtrak,
yes,
but it's more flatter on the
nose. And what do they call it?
I call it a bullet train.
Bullet
That's what
train.
everybody calls it.
And you're from Folkston?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Your whole life? You back generations?
No, I've lived in Jacksonville my whole life. Then I moved here in 95, 96.
And you said somebody in your family worked on the train?
My dad used to work at Norfolk Southern, the one in Jacksonville.
Oh, cool. And he retired from there, so you kind of got it in your blood.
There is one thing that there is a tropical cannon that comes by. Tropical cannon, the orange.
Is it painted?
It's called tropical.
Is it painted orange?
No, it just has.
Tropical. Okay.
It just has the
so
name.
As far as rail fans go, if you could get a picture of that particular train, you've bagged a good one. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, great. Amy, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Right. You did great, man. So as I'm waiting for the next train, which took about another 2 hours to come, Amy is still sharing some thoughts with me, and then she educates me about a term I had never heard of before, but I think it's one that is familiar to railway fans. Keep in mind that I am just a mere beginner, a novice at this, and kind of winging it as I go.
And one time we were up here, and they were doing the eclipse.
Oh, okay. The eclipse.
Where both trains.
Oh, they pass at once.
Yeah. And one was a steam engine.
Oh.
That was the first time I saw one and the last time I saw one.
That would be incredible to bag that, wouldn't it? If you could. I want to go ahead and show you the viewing platform that's dedicated solely for rail fanners who want to come and visit Folkston. It is wheelchair accessible and really nice. It was completed in 2007. It is covered. They have ceiling fans, and then best of all, they have speakers where you can get the latest scoop. If the trains that are approaching Folkston, I don't really understand the lingo, but and it is well lighted at night. The footage I'm showing you now illustrates that very well. You can see how well lit it is, and very accommodating. And we have another train coming here. There aren't a lot of people around right now. I was hoping to find a few out here on the viewing platform to get their thoughts and maybe some hints about the best way to look or think about trains. But the museum opens at 10 o'clock, so I'm going to head over there, and I think they'll be able to help me out. But I wanted to give you a tip about this viewing platform. If you're going to come right now in the middle of the summer, you need to come before noontime, because over here, this is the east, the sun is coming up, you can see I'm in deep shade. After noon or 1 o'clock, the sun's going to be starting to slant down, and you're going to bake underneath this platform. So my thoughts so far, I haven't really gotten around a lot here in Folkston except for couple hours last night, and then I'm starting out this morning. And it's kind of a tidy, clean, safe community. Yesterday evening, you didn't hear anybody yelling, or weren't a lot of people walking around on the streets. Didn't even hear a siren last night. And I'm going to put a photo up now that I took just about an hour before dark. And then I'm going to put another one up of the same location about an hour after dark. And I think both of these photos illustrate something. How, I don't know, it just kind of looks manicured. If you are interested, there are some places you can stay right alongside the railroad tracks. All right, so this is called Railside Lodging, whistlingdixie.com/lodging. And this is an old train caboose. And I looked this up last night. This caboose rents for $140 a night. It has bunk beds in it and a nice extension or porch, a covered porch off the rear that will allow you to sit out here and watch these trains in absolute comfort. You have snacks, lunch, dinner, and of course toddies. Yeah, really, really nice. Going to skip across the railroad tracks, and we're going to make our way down to the museum because it's just 10 o'clock. Apparently, 90% of all trains passing through Florida have to come through the Folkston Funnel. And there are about, my understanding, about 60 trains a day. And from what I've learned, particularly from Amy and doing a little research online, is that a lot of them come late at night, not quite as many in the daytime. These are railroad street cabins. Apparently, I'm thinking these are being rented out by a different business. I think they're going to be bunk beds inside. I'm not for certain. But I do know that from photos I've seen, the folks will sit out here with their chairs and they'll just watch the train, because the train is literally, or the tracks rather, are literally right here. Just super, super convenient. So from what I can gather, there are two tourism draws here in Folkston. One are the trains. Two is the Okefenokee Swamp. We're kind of on the edge of the Okefenokee. It's kind of the frontier where they give tours through this vast primordial swamp. And I'm going to turn the camera around to show you how Folkston appreciates the Okefenokee. And they have a big old replica of a gator out front. And we are about ready to go inside and check out the train museum. Very cool.
City owns the building. The Chamber of Commerce is what keeps it running. That's who I work for.
So inside you'll see, oh gosh, everything pertaining to railroads as far as history goes. Locks, lanterns, spikes. Well, let's get a look at this from the outside. The lady inside was very shy. She did not want me to record her, and I understand that. Not everybody is comfortable speaking to a camera, but she was quite charming. But she told me too that the biggest festival here is the Okefenokee in October, and then second to that is the Rail Fan Festival, which they just held on April 11th, 2026. Okay guys, I am back once again at the viewing platform, and I have finally found a dedicated hardcore rail fan, and he's going to explain to us what they look for in a train. So when did you get into being a rail fan? Or
I would say when I was probably about 5 years old. That was when me and my grandfather, we would always go down to the tracks every evening where we live. And one night, a train went by and I just couldn't get my eyes off it. And then after that, we would always go down there at that time just to see. When I'm rail fanning, I look for some of the rare locomotives, like some of them in older paint schemes that you don't see as much anymore, like the YN2 colors on CSX. Or if you're lucky enough, the special paint schemes on the heritage units. Or a heritage unit is a locomotive painted after another railroad company that no longer exists. Usually the locomotive will have a 4-digit number or a 5-digit number, and the cars, they'll have like different shapes, like a tanker car's cylinderized, box cars, square shaped. The locomotive can have like distinguishing features like flared radiators, a circular nose like on the Mack locomotives, or like most locomotives nowadays, what they call a wide cab, where it has a pretty big square looking nose, and then the cab is raised above it, and then that keeps the crew safe from impacts.
And that's something you'd want to photograph?
Yeah, came up today in hopes of something good coming through, and I did get that on train 795, who had one of the heritage units on it, that one being the 1877. It's going to be coming back north later. Sometimes I'll photograph every train, or other times I'll just photograph the ones I really want to photograph.
Boy, that Jaden was great, wasn't he? He knows his stuff. Something that he was telling me off camera, and he mentioned it a couple of times, is that there was supposed to be another train coming southbound, coming from the north, heading south. Train never shows up. I'm curious, so I'm going to head north, put my drone up, and I'm going to show you what that section of the track looks like. And another reason I wanted to show it to you is because it's where two rail lines merge into one to actually form the Folkston Funnel. And you can see the track to the right goes to Savannah, track to the left goes to Waycross. We're going to move in a little closer, and now if you look on the left track, you can barely see a freight train way down there. And it's hard to see, but it is barely moving along. I'm going to dial it in a little bit more. Now you can see it's just moving. And I think, and I would like for you all who are the experts, the rail fanners, to comment, I'm thinking that this train is just kind of creeping along, waiting for another to pass first. I'm not sure about that, but I sure would appreciate some comments. So my next stop is going to be the Whistling Dixie Cafe in Folkston. It's probably no more than a quarter mile from the wayside viewing platform for the trains. And going to go inside. We're going to meet Jim and Dixie, who own the Whistling Dixie Cafe, and just going to have a chat with them and see what their establishment is all about, and find out a little more about Folkston. Also wanted to add that they do the rentals for the yellow caboose.
Welcome to Whistling Dixie.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
So tell me about your cafe.
Oh, we just have fun here.
Great.
We serve soup, salad, sandwiches. We serve them on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, sometimes on Saturdays if there's other things going on downtown, a festival, or if it's Rail Fan Weekend or the Okefenokee Festival or anything special going on.
Great. So I understand you are a past mayor of this fine town, and you are responsible for the viewing platform, or largely responsible for having it built.
Well, it took a group effort. I was the mayor at the time. We're celebrating our 25th year of the platform, and with that platform has brought many connections with people visiting, friendships, families from all over the world. I've been here since birth. I was born in 1962.
You sell food here for lunch, and but tell me what else you do here. It looks
well, a lot of it is just a lot of camaraderie.
Okay.
But people come in and pick up whatnots, your postcards, your Christmas ornaments, coffee mugs, Okefenokee Swamp, different things, anything. You can, if you can't find a gift in here, something's not right.
And you also frame photographs.
We do custom
artwork.
framing, yes. Now let me show you
Sure.
a little something here about the framing. These are train pictures that we have commissioned over the years.
Oh, you've commissioned them.
Yes, from Frank Crow. He's up from Canton, Georgia, and these have been done over the years when we first opened. This is one we did not commission, which is really, it's relative to this area, of course, because it shows you the Hubbard Lumber Company, and back in the days when they brought the lumber or the timber out of the swamp. This one is another one done by Robert West. It has traveled all over, just as Frank, and this is how it used to be back in the day.
Here in Folkston.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And then this is relative to the way it was in the old billboard sign. In the background, you can hear a lot of fellowship and laughter.
Yes, yes.
And that's what this is all about.
I think these are some of the ladies that my wife went to church with earlier today.
These are some regulars that come in, and just like everyone here at the table, they're regulars, and a lot of them live right here.
So the food is good here, right? Okay, you wouldn't be here otherwise.
Thank you. Specialty coffees. We have the Bluebell ice cream. We just do a little bit of everything in here. But the best part of it all is the fellowshipping. We have good Southern fellowship. And it's nice to have you here with us.
Well, it's nice to be here, and I thank you so much. What kind of town is it? What are the people like?
It's your typical American small town. It's about around this area, and there's another little town next to it called Homeland, probably 10,000 people.
Okay.
And it's friendly. Most everybody knows who everybody is. It's growing, so there's a lot of new folks coming in, but you still have the small town feel. You can live on one side of town, got to run to the grocery store, you can be there in 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Your wife says, "Hey, we need a jar of this," and you can dash up there. But no traffic jams, other than waiting on a train occasionally. But we do have an overpass, so it's great. Well, a lot of them are looking for different things. Most of them enjoy the engines, and there's all kinds of different engines, just like there are automobiles. And then there's special engines that are painted for the 250th anniversary. Some of those, they haven't been through here yet. They're making their initial run, so they're looking forward to that. And a lot of them will get in the car and chase it, going down the track.
They'll chase it.
Going down the track, head on down to the next crossing and get down there so they can film it again. And there's some folks interested in the graffiti. We had a friend, he specialized in that. He had some really great pictures over the years. Some of the artwork, if you look at it close, some of it is pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it isn't, but you see that 1 in 10 or 20 that goes by that you go like, wow.
And that's what they're after.
That guy ought to be in commercial art.
Well, I appreciate you. You got a beautiful cast so much.
You're welcome.
I'm about ready to wrap this video up, but don't go anywhere. I've got something very special at the very end I think all rail fans will want to see. But first, I want to thank Jaden for helping me out. His information on his YouTube rail site will be in the show notes. I want to thank Amy, of course, and then I want to thank Jim and Dixie for being so kind to invite me in and having that little chat. And with that, I hope you enjoy this film clip. It's an homage to steam trains of the past, thanks to the Library of Congress Archives. We'll see you next time.